Bases loaded. 2 out. Hard hit into right. Back at the wall.
Looking to throw. Looking to throw. And he throws into the end zone. Touchdown.
Goal against Russell. 12 seconds. 11. 10. Jordan. Jordan to drive. Hangs. Fires. Yes! He scores!
Hit 3 fly balls. This one to right field. That's hit well down the line, and it is gone!
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Afternoon Buzz. I'm your host, Staush Zamoyta, joined by my co-host, Mr. Blake Zopfi, and we have a great show in store for you today. Blake, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, sir. Thanks for having me again. No, we do have a great show. We got the MLB offseason. We got some NBA action, and we have some NFL controversy, actually. So let's get right on to our first topic. We got the MLB offseason free agency. All right, now, Staush, who would you say is the top 3 prospects of this offseason?
You know, we actually have 3 really good ones for you. We have number 1 to look out for is Mr. Grant Balfour, the former closer for the Oakland Athletics. Unfortunately, the A's have to let him go at the end of the season because of Moneyball with Billy Beane, of course. I mean, the guy's been lights out. Look at the Balfour Rage, the ticket sales he brought to Oakland. Balfour Rage. I loved watching the guy pitch. He just wants $14.1 million, which he deserves, but the A's can't pay him. And who do you think is going to pick him up, Blake?
You know, I have to agree with you on that one. Billy Beane, not his style to pick Balfour back up. They just can't afford it. You know, it wouldn't be Moneyball. They're Moneyballers. And he's going to go to a big market team. And right now, actually, there's a lot of A's rivals that are looking at him, and that is the Tigers, the Rangers who are rebuilding, possibly the Angels, which is a division rival. You know, we're not looking to – you can't really do that when you're an A's player going to a division rival.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we saw that scuffle in Game 3 against the Tigers between Grant Balfour and Victor Martinez. That was pretty fun. That's all I had to say. You know, Balfour's out on the mound. He spits, he yells, he cusses, but he's yelling at himself. Victor Martinez took it personally. Bench is cleared. I don't think it'd be a good fit for Balfour to go to the Tigers. You know what? There is a small chance he'll stay with the A's, but if not, wish him the best of luck. And let's move on to our next free agent, Mr. Nelson Cruz.
The juicer. You know, it's he got in trouble this year for putting the juice, and you know, it's going to be tough for him. He's going to have to prove himself this year. The first couple of years, he's not going to get the contract that he wants. You know, it's going to be tough for him to come back to the Rangers if he wants to. So where do you think he's going to go, Staush?
You know, I think his only option is to stay with Texas. You know, coming from a GM standpoint for the Texas Rangers, I wouldn't re-sign him. You know, he's had a couple big years for him, but he hits 30 bombs a year, which, you know, that's respectable, but he doesn't hit for average. His defense is subpar. But you can get him on a bargain this year, probably 2 years. I would say about $8 million a year. So, you know, or one year deal for $8 million. If he can stay healthy and keep off the roids, he might be a good steal. But other than that, I think he should be banned from baseball. I just don't like steroid users. I'm sorry.
All right, well let's move on to the biggest prospect this offseason is Robinson Cano of the New York Yankees.
Mr. Robbie Cano. You know what? There is not a better second baseman in the major leagues right as of right now. You know what? Robbie Cano hits for average, he hits for power, and he's a Gold Glove winner over there. I mean, the guy is phenomenal, but $300 million.
That's
yes.
A lot of Twinkies.
I said $300 million.
That's a lot of Twinkies. Like I was saying, you know, actually there was a controversy with him and his super agent Jay-Z. You may know him as the rapper. He actually gave Cano a birthday present, $33,000 watch. That's a car on your hand.
$33,000?
$33,000 watch. But the rule is that an agent cannot give his player or his client a gift over $500 without letting the MLB know about it or the league you're in.
Why is that? They're professionals. They're not in college.
I don't know. It's Robbie Cano could easily buy that watch and 10 more of those watches. So I don't know what the deal is. It's they're not college players like you're saying, and they deserve to be treated like pros.
Exactly.
So we'll have to see about that. But back to Cano. Do you think he's gonna be a bust? Getting that big contract. It's happened before.
We've seen the Albert Pujols, we've seen the Josh Hamiltons, we've seen the Adrian Gonzalez, Carl Crawford. All these guys got big contracts coming out, and they couldn't come out the first couple years. They can't hit. They can't do anything. They're hurt. Josh Hamilton in L.A. this year was absolutely horrendous. Albert Pujols isn't the Albert Pujols of past that we saw with the St. Louis Cardinals. I feel once a player gets paid that much money, they start thinking about their money worth. They care about the money. They're not thinking about the team and trying to win a championship. They're there to stay healthy, to get all those incentives that will get them all that money. Robbie Cano, I want to say he won't be a bust, but, the track proves it.
I think he won't be the Robbie Cano we've known, we've come to love. It's always great watching a rookie come out of college, or even if he didn't play college, come out there playing his heart out every day, even knowing any second he could just lose everything. But we'll have to watch Robbie and see what happens.
Yep.
Another thing is, do you think that Robinson Cano and Jay-Z are actually bullying the team owners to pay him more money?
I think Jay-Z is a bully. That's just me. I mean, he's on top of the hip-hop industry, and when you're on top of the hip-hop industry, or an industry at that, like Donald Trump, you're going to push people around to get what you want because that's how you got there. You got to cut throats to get up to the very top, and that's what Jay-Z's doing as an agent. He's going to get Robbie Cano that money. All the money that he wants. We have a little thing going on back there with our production booth. I
believe we saw this going on back in the production booth. But yeah, I agree. Jay-Z he's a winner in my eyes. He's gonna get what he wants, and that's why Robinson Cano actually moved over to him.
Yeah, it was a smart move by Robbie. I mean, Jay-Z was actually trying to get Yoenis Cespedes from the Oakland A's to sign, but he wouldn't sign. But they are a bunch of bullies. And speaking of bullying, we're about to come back and talk about the NFL bullying scandal in Miami. And so we'll be back after this short commercial break.
Well, hi, everybody. Greg Poff here in the Solano College Sports Network Studio B to talk about a great opportunity for any of you that are aspiring sports broadcasters, or perhaps you just like to work behind the scenes when it comes to sports broadcast productions. Here at Solano Community College, we are one of the few colleges in the nation that have an actual sports broadcasting class, Communication Studies 75. You can take that class any semester here at Solano, and we'd sure like to see you here in the spring semester every Wednesday afternoon here in the Solano Community College TV studio. We've got a job for you. Could be behind the mic, could be running the CGs, running the switcher board, or even behind a camera. Lots of opportunities to get involved and learn what it takes to have a career in sports broadcasting. Also look for our telecasts on the Fairfield Cable Access channel and also on our Solano College YouTube channel. This fall semester we'll be covering women's soccer, women's volleyball. We'll also throw in a few Vacaville High School football games, and at the end of the semester we'll start bringing you broadcasts of both Solano men's and women's basketball. So if you're interested in sports broadcasting, come over to Solano Community College. Check us out in the TV studio. Again, Communication Studies 75, sports broadcasting. Now, back to the show.
Miami Dolphins offensive lineman Richie Incognito has been suspended indefinitely by the Dolphins. This after Miami said that representatives of offensive lineman Jonathan Martin had made a complaint alleging player misconduct.
He's a jackass. So let's just be honest. I've played against him 1,000 times. He's not even that good enough. So you're not good enough to be a jerk.
Responsibility? I'm not speculating. I'm quoting you what someone, a former player in the NFL who is aware, told me. He said this is going to blow the whole Riley Cooper thing out of the water.
And welcome back to the Afternoon Buzz. That's our buddy Stephen A. Smith, always voicing his loud opinion. And also, welcome to the show, Chelsey Williams over here. Hey, Chelsey, how you doing today? Good. Doing great today. Let's get back to the bullying scandal. Staush, let's tell them what happened.
Richie Incognito, offensive lineman, was supposed to mentor rookie Jonathan Martin out of Stanford. And he was told by his coaches to toughen him up because he was a little soft. If you look at Jonathan Martin's draft report, and that was in his draft report, that's the reason why he dropped down to where he did, because they said he wasn't mentally tough enough to play in this NFL game. Well, Richie Incognito, he's been in the top 3 most dirtiest players since 2007. I mean, this guy is a dirty player. He's a bully. He's just a big old mean guy. I mean, he got kicked out of Nebraska and still got drafted. What? Are you kidding me? How you get kicked out, for your attitude and all this? It's just terrible. But, Richie not physically abused. He mentally abused Jonathan Martin, and just play the clip. Play this voicemail, and this will explain everything right now.
I saw you on Twitter. You've been training 10 weeks. I want to smurf in your smurfing mouth. I'm going to slap your smurfing mouth. I'm going to slap your real mother across the face. Smurf you. You're still a rookie. I'll kill you.
I'm going to bring you in right now. Yeah, so little mix of Saturday morning cartoons just to get out of the profanity of how bad that voicemail. That's just one voicemail. I mean, Incognito even made Jonathan Martin pay him $15,000 so Incognito can go to Vegas. Are you kidding me, Chelsey? What do you think about this?
I mean, first of all that he's giving everybody is nothing but smurf, right? That's what I believe. But in all honesty kind of situation, within football, it's kind of a sense of community and a straightforward sense of, like, this is one big family. And if you can't really treat that as a family and you want to be the alpha dog, there's no dog with, this pile of family right here, because a lot of people think it's the individual players. Huh? No. But everybody thinks the individual player is what makes the team, but it's not even the individual player, not even the coach. It's the fact that we all can do this together. And, you know what I'm saying? Teamwork wins championships.
Yes, it does.
Okay, well, I'm not saying what Richie did was right, but I'm going to have to say smurf you to both you guys because, you know what? Jonathan Martin, he's a grown man. He's 6'5", 300 pounds. He's a big boy. If you don't agree with him, say no. Hit him in the face. You're a big guy. You play football. You play a dangerous sport. If you really need it, get your mom involved like Gronkowski did. It worked. Grow up.
No, he did get his mom involved. He showed his mom the text messages and voicemails that Incognito left on his phone. And his mom is the one who went to the NFL and said, look, my son's getting bullied over here. You know what? He's a grown man. If you got a problem with somebody, go up to him and punch him in the mouth.
We need some of that Donovan McNabb's mom over here with that soup.
Yeah, some chunky noodle soup.
Some chunky noodle. He needs to grow up. He's a big boy. He's actually bigger than Richie Incognito is. Man up, push him over, do something, show some fight. Maybe they were right. Maybe he's not mentally sound for this game.
In this case, you have to kind of think about it too. It's not the old school, I'll play when I'm bleeding kind of football. It's that, I got a boo-boo, let me get off the field. So you also got to take that into consideration too. But like as a sense of camaraderie, you got to understand this is a teammate. Now if it's an opposing team, I don't care how much trash talk you know. You can even talk about the whole grandma. Grandma can't cook chitlins right now. I don't care. It's just, if it's your own teammate, let's not talk about the teammate, but other teams.
Well, I agree. It's been happening a lot. I mean, Des Bryant last week, yeah. He went off on his own QB, on his own offensive coordinator, on everybody, yelling at him. He yelled at Jason Witten, and you just don't do that. Not in public, at least. Not right there on the sideline.
You know what? Something should stay in the locker room, and I feel that the veterans on this Miami Dolphins team did not take the proper actions because the leaders of this team should have stepped up and said something to Incognito and said, hey, you're bullying him a little too hard. Maybe the veterans on the team didn't think he was doing it too hard, and, Jonathan Martin's just a little soft. And if you talk to Ryan Tannehill came out and said that he thought Richie Incognito and Jonathan Martin were best friends. I mean, they were always spending time together. They worked with each other, good camaraderie. And, guys will be guys. And, if you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen. That's where it comes from because, there's a lot of smack talk that happens in the locker rooms, and that has to stay inside a locker room. Don't let it get outside. If you got a problem, if you won't hit a guy in the mouth, go up and find a veteran or a coach and reach out to them and solve it in-house. What Jonathan Martin did is wrong by tattling. We've been known since little kids. You don't tattle. Snitches get stitches. Isn't that right, Blake?
It's true, but the sad thing about that, Staush, is that Incognito is actually looked up to as a leader.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a whole organizational thing. But let's move on to letting people down. Let's talk about some other stuff in the NFL that's been going down lately.
Oh, what, these 50-year-old coaches?
What is in that Gatorade? I know, we need to check it out.
You know, it's terrible. John Fox, the Denver Broncos head coach, he was actually on his bye week, and he collapsed on the golf course. He was, lost of breath, and he was taken to the hospital, and they thought he was having a heart attack, but I guess it was a mild stroke. But then speaking of strokes, Gary Kubiak in Houston on Monday night. His team's up by 21 points. They're doing a great job handling the Colts, and as he's running off the field, he just collapsed.
Talk about concussions. This is a little unsafe for the coaches. So let's move over to Chelsey. What are your thoughts on the coaches, these old guys falling down?
I mean, I think that's the point in general. They're old guys trying to keep up with some young guns. You got a big stadium, crowd just everywhere, momentum at its high, and you got all that sound ringing in your ears, and you're still getting stuff in the booth. Hey, I'll get kind of dizzy a little bit too right there.
I think the next coach that might drop is Coach Harbaugh from the 49ers. Have you seen his blood? I mean, his face when they make a bad call, and his blood pressure must be up through the roof. I mean, Gary Kubiak, what is it that happened to him? Let's go to the highlight. We actually have the doc on the line, and let's see what he has to say about these two coaches. Doc, what you got in store for us?
NFL coaches go down what appear to be heart issues, and everyone thinks, did they have heart attacks? In the case of John Fox, it actually, after they did some workup on him, they find that he actually has an aortic valve that is leaking. And the aortic valve is the valve that prevents blood from flowing back into the heart after it's been pushed out by the left ventricle to the rest of the body. So this can cause problems, exactly what he has as far as the symptoms of lightheadedness and some chest pain. And it's good that they noted that early so that they can take care of this surgically and not have to worry about catastrophic illness. When Kubiak first initially was checked out in the emergency department, his vital signs were stable and everything looked to be fine. As a matter of fact, they were talking about whether he would be able to come back to the team today. With the change in the medications that they have given him, they obviously have more concerns. Now it looks like there was either some coronary issues, heart issues, or brain issues here that may have caused this weakness. In the case of John Fox, it can be hereditary, so that it can be a stenosis problem where the valves are thickened because of hereditary issues, and if you look back in his family, he may have had that. Not so much stress in that issue. In Kubiak's, absolutely you would think this could potentially be stress-related. When you talk about what can cause lightheadedness and dizziness, anxiety and stress are probably 1 and 2. Not as dangerous as the other, potential heart attacks or arrhythmias or hypoglycemia, but certainly can be stress-related and probably was one of the top diagnoses that they initially felt in the emergency department.
Well, thank you, Doc. That was very informative, and hopefully everybody learned. My thoughts and prayers go out to Coach Fox and Coach Kubiak.
Same
but
here.
On an upper note, we'll come back with some NBA action. Lift your spirits after a little depressing segment right there, and we'll come back and we have my buddy Mike McLeod coming on with us. Let's bring down Mike.
Woo, woo, woo!
We'll see you after this break.
Ow!
Happy holidays, everyone. Ashley Lyons here at the Solana Community College Broadcasting Studio. I'm here to tell you about a great cause coming up this holiday season called the Annual Holiday Giving Project. If you're looking to give back to the community, you can donate gifts to the Solana Community College Children's Program. If you're interested in giving a gift this season, go ahead and wrap your gifts and make sure that you put the gender and age on the outside of the present. Make sure all gifts are donated to Building 200 here at Solano by December 11th. For further questions and more information, you can contact Christy Speck at christy.speck@solano.edu. Thank you, and remember, it's better to give than to receive.
And we are back with the Afternoon Buzz. We are joined with Mike McLeod over here on the far right.
How you doing, everybody? Thanks for having me on.
What's up, Mike? How you doing today?
Not bad, not bad. That highlight video got me a little pumped. I'm ready for the NBA season. It's been a fun couple weeks.
Yeah, it really has. Blake, what have you been seeing so far in the NBA?
So far, I've been pretty right with my predictions. I saw the Celtics not doing well after that big money trade over to the Nets. They moved over Terry, Garnett, Pierce. The Heat are looking kind of strong, not as strong as they did last season. The Clippers are looking strong. The Warriors are looking strong. The Pacers are on fire. They're a team to beat this year in the East. They're actually probably a favorite in the East, actually almost to win the whole thing.
Paul George, he came ready to play. The offseason, he didn't take no time off after that loss to, Miami. He hit the gym. Right after that last loss, he's been playing ever since, and you could really tell. This guy's made huge strides early in this season. What's not to say about him? He's just on fire.
Yeah, he's the best rebounding shooting guard in the game. It's a little unfair to have a guy that's 6'9" playing the 2 guard, but once Danny Granger gets back, it's going to be a world of hurt for the Eastern Conference because you got Danny Granger at the 3, who led the team in points in 2010. You also got Paul George, and they have a bench now. They have Luis Scola. They have Chris Copeland. Even though he hasn't played, he was a good role player on the Knicks last season. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun Eastern Conference. But I think they're going to beat the Heat out of the Eastern Conference. It's going to be fun.
I agree with that, too. I don't think LeBron can get I don't think he can get a third one. Yeah, I said it. He's not getting a third one, Blake.
So here we go. Staush changing his mind again, who told me one night he knows the Heat are going to three-peat, but doesn't want to admit it.
Oh.
So he's still playing that card over there, but it's okay. I got some LeBron haters. They just can appreciate some great talent while we have it in the NBA.
It's not being a LeBron hater. At least personally for me, I'm just not a fan of super teams. I didn't really like when Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce went to the Celtics. I don't really like how they tried to get Chris Paul on the Lakers. Puff. I'm sorry, Puff. That's just the way it works. I don't like super teams. I don't like how they tried to get Steve Nash and Dwight Howard. I'm so glad that the Lakers just completely went belly up last year. They're even more belly up this year because they got a bunch of guys that are on one-year contracts. And, that's another thing. I don't really like tanking either, but it is what it is for that part. So
okay, well, let's go with the super teams. I agree. Yeah, you can buy all these players there, but you can't pay for them how they play. It's how they play together. You can buy a team, doesn't mean they're going to win. And we should ask Staush about this Pierce and Garnett trade. He's a huge Celtics fan, but he hates the Heat for what they did.
Hate the Heat.
But he's fine with what the Nets and the Celtics did. So Staush, can you elaborate on why is that?
I'm still a Celtics fan. I'm not a Garnett and Pierce fan no more. They're not on my team. So, I'm a Warriors Celtics fan. For fans who can't tell, I'm wearing a city shirt up here. Got to represent the Bay.
Warriors.
Sorry. I want to change the subject here. I don't even want to talk about the Celtics because they're going to tank it and get number 1 overall pick. I want to talk about the Golden State Warriors, baby. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and the greatest off-season
acquisition.
Thank you.
That's the English
Mr.
language.
Andre Iguodala. Iggy is getting nasty up here in the Bay.
We don't have any clips of it, but there was a pass last week. He went behind the back. He caught it in midair, went behind his back to a David Lee in stride. It's just the little things that he does, and they turn into big things. He said after the game, that's just a natural part of his game. I don't see how that's a natural part of anyone's game except for Andre Iguodala.
What's funny is Steph Curry wasn't even the best player on the floor that night. He wound up getting triple-double. He was just messing around having a good time, and the rebounds kept landing in his lap. He's putting up assists, putting up points. Triple-double. Hey. Whoever thought it,
And, he got hurt in the last game. He got tangled up with Ricky Rubio, hurt his knee. Mm-hmm. He tried to do a little floater in the lane and kind of landed wrong on his ankle, and we all know how well documented his ankles are. But it turns out it's just a bone bruise, so it's not an ankle. So everybody that's a Warriors fan can sleep well at night. But it's funny because Stephen Curry goes in the locker room that night, and the team goes on a 10-0 run. So this team is much better than it was last year, and I think they're going to take it out of the Western Conference.
Yes, I am.
If they're healthy.
Blake? You agree with that, or do you got something over here to say to Big Mike?
What?
I'm
just going to change the subject like Staush did and go back to the NBA and back to a team that was supposed to be the worst NBA, try for the worst NBA record ever, the 76ers. And they have Nerlens Noel, who was number 1 pick, who's actually not even playing this season. But Michael Carter Williams is going off. He's doing great. He was overlooked as he's a rookie this year. He's overlooked coming out of Syracuse, and people they're shocked by him. It's early in the season, but they're playing well, and I don't think they're going to get the worst record in the NBA. Not with the Celtics in this.
Somebody needs to tell Michael Carter Williams that the Sixers are tanking.
They're not. I mean, look at I went on ESPN.com earlier, and I pulled up the top 10 power rankings, and the Sixers are sitting at number 10. They're number 10. Hey, it's still early season. They have Pacers at 1, Rockets with Dwight Howard and James Harden at number 2. The Timberwolves at number 3 with K-Love and Ricky Rubio. Then we got the Spurs and Heat at 4 and 5. Clippers, Warriors 6 and 7. And then the Bulls and Sixers round up the rest of that top 10. Is that very surprising to either of you right now?
It's early in the season. You're like 4 or 5, 6 games in. You can't say much about anybody right now. People are learning to play together. It's like rookies are. There's old teams that are learning to play with new players. It's a whole new game right now. And one team that you can see people who play with each other is like the Heat. They're big three. They're playing well. But you look at Westbrook returned and he didn't miss a step with Kevin Durant. They're still doing well together. He had a great return, unlike Derrick Rose, who's been under par when he returned. So it's just kind of who you're playing well with, and if you can continue that consistently throughout the whole season. Because when it gets down into the playoff season, it's about strength and consistency. It's about playing as a team, because when you're beat up, you're battered, you're everything when you're in the playoffs. It's almost not even. It's about talent when you get there, but you need to be strong mentally and physically at that point.
Well, since it is early in the season, we each have our own teams and our own picks. Who is going to the NBA championship game this year? Make your prediction right now. That we get video proof, so we know if you're wrong, Blake. When your Heat don't win, we know you're wrong. So let's hear it.
You already know. I have the Heat and the Thunder going. As long as the Thunder stay healthy, the Heat and the Thunder will go.
Okay.
And the Heat will prevail.
And how many games?
It will be 7. Actually, we'll go to Game 7, and actually it'll be Thunder or Heat. I can't say it yet because they're both. Thunder can beat the Heat, if that's what I'm gonna say. It's gonna be a tough outing in the East between the Pacers and the Heat. That's the biggest. That's gonna be the biggest series in that Eastern Conference. But once it gets to the championship, it's gonna be Heat and Thunder.
All right, Mike.
Well, I've been kind of hinting at the entire time. I have the Warriors coming out of the Western Conference. I actually run a Warriors blog on Tumblr, so I am a little bit biased, but I did my entire playoff prediction. I have the Warriors finishing at a 4 seed. They play the Rockets in the first round, and I think they match up well with them. We have defenders on the wing, or the Warriors have defenders on the wing. I don't have anything, but I have a bum knee. That's what I have.
Pop's pet peeves,
Yeah, we. Homer.
Yeah, we.
But the Warriors have wing defenders. They have interior defenders and Andrew Bogut. They match up well. In the second round, they would then play either the Spurs or the Thunder, whoever's going to be number 1. I think they would match up well again. As long as they can keep the other teams under 40%, which I saw. They kept Minnesota, who's 3-1 after losing a heartbreaker to Cavaliers. The Warriors kept them under 40%, so they can do that night in and night out. And then in the last round, they play the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals. I think they beat them. That's just my bias. Then they play the Indiana Pacers in the NBA championship because I think they have the best team in the Eastern Conference. I think Paul George has proved that thus far. I think he can beat the Heat.
And we see a big no from the big kahuna, Greg Poff, behind the camera over here.
And then just because I am such a big fan of the Warriors, I'm taking the Warriors in 6.
Okay. No, you were the homer. I'm supposed to be the homer over here. I know you just totally messed up all my predictions, but you know what?
We should have logical predictions, guys.
Logical predictions.
I at least backed mine up.
We should have logical predictions.
Up my predictions.
We should go with the best teams in the league, not just who you feel. I am a Warriors fan. I'm a Bay Area fan, but I'm a LeBron fan. I'm just saying you should go with the best teams in the league. And I just don't think the Warriors are going to go.
Aren't the best team in the league anymore.
I'm not saying they are, but they're the best playoff team. They've proved it the last 2 years. They're the best playoff team. There's a difference.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. We'll see how it works out.
Children, don't let me put you in timeout.
You don't even know basketball, Staush. So.
Well, I'm gonna tell you my predictions right now.
Could probably guess them. Probably the Warriors in the finals.
The Heat beat the Pacers in 7 games.
Again.
LeBron James makes a game-winning 3 to lead him to the
That'd be a surprise,
national championship or the
same thing. Yeah,
same thing. Then I had the Warriors beating the Thunder in 7. So Miami versus the Warriors, NBA championship, and the Heat will three-peat. There it is. 6 games. LeBron James can't beat him. I mean,
you heard it here. You heard it here.
He's still not better than Jordan. Will never be better than Jordan.
That's for another day for that argument.
But Steph Curry will win his first MVP award for this year.
You know, even I'm not going to say that just because.
Finally, we got some people looking at the NBA and actually making logical predictions.
All right. Well, you know what? That was a good discussion. I wish we could go in more, but we're short on time here. But we got something in store for you today.
Just before you say the Heat's my team, I do wish the Warriors the best of luck. Nothing against them. I just think I'm just a huge LeBron fan.
Boo.
So that's
Boo.
LeBron haters over here. Can't appreciate the talent.
If you're a fan of a team, you're a fan of a team. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the last segment. And Staush, you want to tell us what that is?
The not top 10 plays of the week. Chelsey, roll that video.
Mike, your prediction might be on here, so watch.
And we have a little technical difficulties going on. But, hey, you get to look at some awesome signs, and the TV's back here. And if Blake moves a little bit that way, look, we got Darth Vader back here. Oh, yeah.
Moved me more into him.
Because we ride on the dark side. Here we go. Oh, this is not the top 10 plays, but it's an awesome dunk by Dwight Howard.
Well,
here's some NBA bloopers over here.
We're working on it. We're working on it right now. It's coming on. Here we go.
Oh, no.
That's not it either.
That's not it either. But, hey, look at this. Who is that? Deron Williams going up over Blake Griffin. Nope. You can't take that. Give me that ball. Harrison Barnes drives the lane, throws it down.
Ooh.
Cut back jumper.
Pierce just looked ugly there. Did you see that?
Yeah, well, he's old.
He's actually a net now.
Old.
He's actually a net now. He's on the Celtics there, but he's actually a net now.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't care about him no more. And, there we
go. We figured it out.
We're going to October 25th, 1986.
Bill Buckner. Oh, that's a bad name to say.
But you know what? Red Sox fans can be happy about saying that name now. I mean, they've won 3 world championships since, they broke the curse of Bambino in 2004. Buckner from Napa High School. We were informed by Professor Poff over here. That's something interesting.
Well, here we go. We are.
We see Mookie Wilson. Oh, and see, look, drive Mookie Wilson up at the plate. He steps in. 1-2 count. And it's a dribbler down the first baseline. It goes through the legs of Buckner. Buckner. I mean, what else can you say about?
He probably can't even bunt either.
Did you ever see that? Do you watch the show Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I do. I do.
Yeah.
Hold on, we're back.
Here we go.
Not top 10. Here we go.
Number 10, Brazilian soccer game. The official is getting attacked by a bird. Look at this. He's ducking. He's diving. He's trying to run away from this. He's like, get away from me, you little bird. I don't want nothing to do with you. Number 9, Blackhawks Lightning. Shot on goal. It goes off the skate of a Lightning defender and into his own goal. The Lightning would go on to win in overtime, but that's just embarrassing right there. Number 8, World Series Game 6. Red Sox just, trying to get some outs here, throwing the ball around. Throws it down the third baseline. And Prince Fielder tries. Look at him. He's like, I'm a star. I'm Superman.
He was close there.
Yes, he was. And look at Jim Leland like, what the hell was that?
We're gonna miss Jim Leland.
Yes, we are.
So at number 7, we have UFC. We have John Dunce. He's celebrating, but not very well. He's not. Maybe he shouldn't have won the fight.
No, he should have not won the fight. Now we have Vanderbilt kicker Gary Spear here. Look at him. Whoop! He just fell on his behind right there. Here we go again. Whoop! And he's down. That's what we called
He's lucky that ref was there.
You know what? That's what we call the Charlie Brown play right there. Look at him.
Charlie's,
Let's
move on to number 5. We have an Ole Miss lineman looking for the kicker with the game winner. Let's get these linemen here. We have 2 big guys. picking up a cooler of Gatorade.
Look at
Here
this.
they are.
Where
do
I
go?
Hey, where's Coach? Oh, is he over there? Is he
I
over
don't
there?
know where to go.
I don't know. Oh, wait. Oh, there he is. Oh,
wait,
no.
what do we do?
Dude, where's my car, dude?
Oh, no.
Where's Coach, dude?
Oh, we found him!
They finally got him.
So number 4, we got Real Madrid versus Juventus. We have this guy totally just kicked the ground, and he blames the defender.
Look at him. He's trying to blame the defender for a foul there. There's nothing working there. Pat McAfee. Look out. All right, look at this. Look at this. Kicker coming down, and boom, baby.
I mean, did you know he got drug tested after that?
Yeah.
A random drug test.
Because they said he was doing steroids. The kicker made a good hit. I mean, hey, best defensive kicker of all time. Look at that.
He actually tweeted, guys, make one random tackle and, and end up on random steroid test. Must be my bod. Hashtag upper body.
Game 1, the World Series. Wainwright and Molina. I got it. No, I got it.
That's just sad.
Oh,
man. Looks like our softball
Yeah,
game.
it does look like our softball team, man. We don't talk about them though.
All right, number 1. Goal from there was a goal. We'll wait for it to play first. Oh, it was in. Wait, was it in though? Clearly misses, but it goes in the side of the net and the referee calls it a goal. that counts.
Look, there's a hole in the net.
Apparently now in soccer, it's if you hit the net at all, it's a goal.
Yeah, I guess so, man. Now, I'm going to hit the backside every time in FIFA now, you know. But the worst of the worst is right here. Oh.
You.
Oh, it's me.
Us, we're the worst of the worst.
Hey. Here we go.
Oh, we're back.
So that team is celebrating right there, but they blocked the field goal. The ball's still live. They celebrated early. The band is on the field.
The band is on the field.
Yeah, that reminds me of that great Stanford Cal game when, Stanford wound up winning, but it was all good. It's been a great show. Thank you to Chelsey Williams and Mike McLeod for coming here. You can get Chelsey on Chelsea's football weekly update on SCSN, and you can get Mike McLeod on the Solana Sports Update. I'm
Blake Zopfi. Thanks for joining in again.
I'm Staush Zamoyta. Thank you for watching the Afternoon Buzz. We'll be back next week with a whole bunch of new topics, maybe an interview for you. But until then, you stay classy, Solano. Have a good night.